Good morning, this is Kimmy from Scrap Therapy. Hey, I wanted to show you a really cool technique that I was teaching the ladies in my art journal club. This was our art journal page for this month, and on here we're doing this technique with the black cutout snowman. Then we're using UTEE, perfect pearls, and gold and silver ink. And I just love the way it turned out, and so I wanted to quickly share with you how to do that technique. So I did the snowman and I did the snowflake, and then I found actually a little tip for you is that when I was doing the smaller snowflakes with the same technique, when I stamped on them, and you'll see what I mean, the paper almost fell apart, and so some of the pieces of the snowflake just disintegrated and just ripped apart. So I found with this technique, one of the keys is to do an image that's larger. Do something. Even the snowflake is a little bit finicky, but it does work. So I would suggest a bigger die cut when you're doing this. Now for the rest of them, I did the same technique. I did the UTEE and the perfect pearls, and then I just didn't stamp on top of them. So let me show you how to do this snowman. Super cool. So I'm going to do it in 3 different ways. I've prepared some different pieces here, and I'm going to show you with 3 different ways. 3 different ultra thick embossing powders, which is called UTEE. So what I've done is I die cut the snowman. So these 2, I die cut the snowman just with black cardstock. And then I wanted to show the difference between the clear embossing powder and the black embossing powder. So this is the ultra thick embossing enamel, and then I've added perfect pearls. And this is the black ultra thick embossing powder. And then this one here, I die cut it with white paper, and I use the white ultra thick embossing enamel. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do after you've die cut your image, then you're going to use your Versa, and you can use the Versa ink pad, or you can use the Emboss It dauber, and this is my favorite way to go, is with the dauber. So if I was going to do this snowman, now I've already prepped it for you, so what I'll do is I'll just show you on just a snowflake what I mean by embossing, in case you haven't done that before. So I'm taking the dauber, I daub right on top of my image, and I like to do it on a scrap piece of paper just so that all of this excess liquid doesn't make a mess all over the place. So I'm going to take it just like that, and then I'm going to put it into the black embossing powder. So this is black ultra thick embossing powder. Tap off all the excess, and now we're going to heat that. So you can watch it turn, and you don't want to leave it on a piece of paper because it will stick to the paper. So you want to make sure that you take that off right away so that it doesn't stick to your piece of paper. Okay, so what I did from here is I let it cool just a little bit, then I put the dauber on again, and then I did another layer of black ultra thick embossing powder. Okay, then I let that dry. It's already cooled. You could already do a second layer right now. Then I let that dry, so I do another one, then I let that, put the powder on, let that dry, and then I did it a 3rd time. So now I end up with this super glossy, perfect snowman that has been embossed 3 times. Okay, so that's what you would do. 3 times. Then I'm going to take some perfect pearls, and I'm just going to use the perfect pearl powders. And I've got my paint brushes labeled so that I don't mix up colors. And if you do this right away, then you don't need to add the dauber again or Versamark ink pad again. If you do it right away, it'll stick to it. But if you leave a little bit of time and something happens and you gotta come back to it, then just take your dauber and and stick a little bit more of that Versa onto it, or use your Versa ink pad. It's the same thing, right? So, but when I do it right away, I don't have to redauber it. Okay, so now I'm just going to take the Perfect Pearls and just add some on like that. Just pouncing it on. And I just love this color here. It's called Forever Red. It's kind of this cranberry burgundy color. All right, so you get the point. Okay, so I would just finish doing that, all the Perfect Pearls onto that snowman, and I'm going to end up with it looking just like this. Okay, so this is done with the clear ultra thick embossing powder, whereas this one was done with the black ultra thick embossing powder. I wanted to see if there was a difference, and so far I'm not really seeing a whole lot of difference. The only thing sorry, is with the ultra thick embossing enamel, you could do this on any color of cardstock, right? You wouldn't have to use black because the black powder is going to cover whatever you're using. So I guess that's one advantage. Okay, so I have this one ready, and then with the white, I have this one ready with the Perfect Pearls. So now we're going to take a stamp. And you can use a rubber stamp or an acrylic stamp. I did try just clear acrylic stamp, and it totally worked. So we're going to take the stamp, and I'm going to load it with this ink color. So I've got this gold and silver, and I'm going to kind of put it on in a diagonal because I don't want to blend my two ink colors together. All right, so that's ready to go. So I load my ink pad first, then I come back here to my snowman and heat it up. So I'm only heating up the bottom section where I'm going to stamp. Then I'm going to stamp nice and firm into that warm UTEE. And it's not only going to stamp, but it's actually going to emboss into the UTEE as well. It's pretty cool. So now I'm going to take my ink pad and reload my stamp and heat it up. You can actually see the UTEE moving around, so I know that it's nice and hot. Press firm, lift, press firm, lift. Oh, see, that one was already drying up here. Wasn't hot enough, but you can see in the other spots where we've actually got an impression. So there, it's nice and hot, and then we're going to press right into it. And you can see how cool that is, how it impresses it and stamps at the same time. Pretty awesome. So I'm going to do that with this white one. Now this is an experiment. I haven't tried it on the white before, so let's see what it does. Oh, the silver doesn't show up so much on there. So, okay, for the next one that we do, let's just do a whole ton of gold. Yeah, I guess that makes sense with the colors I chose. That's better. last section, just the top hat part, we'll do that again. So you can actually see the UTEE moving around, and that's awesome. That's exactly what we want, because then we know that it's raring to go. Oh, that one turned out really great. Look at that. That's gorgeous. So there you go. This one's done with the white UTEE. This was done with the clear UTEE. You can see how it wasn't quite hot enough in the center there. I didn't get enough embossing, so you've got to make sure that you have it nice and hot. And then this one was done with the black UTEE. So pretty cool technique. I hope you're inspired to try something new today. Have a great day and happy scrapping!